Hello everyone, and welcome to the very first War for the Overworld patch video. I'm Noontide, the community manager for Subterranean Games. In this video I'll be running you through just some of the exciting new features coming to the War for the Overworld Bedrock Beta in patch 0.4.0. Included in this patch is a brand new GUI, several system revamps, 3 new levels, over 20 new aspects in the Veins of Evil, and more, which means there's just too much to get through in such a short time. As such, we'll be focusing on the new GUI and Veins of Evil rework in this video, alongside a few highlights of our favourite smaller changes from this patch. Perhaps the most anticipated and significant change is the brand new GUI. We have been hard at work over the past couple of months, gathering feedback from our community, designing, iterating and reiterating, all to bring this brand new user interface to life. When you first drop into the game, you'll quickly notice how different the UI is. Along the top of the screen is the resource information bar. Here you can see your gold, ritual status, sim points, research rate and mana bar. All of these elements work in a way that you might expect, showing values and visual indicators of your current resources. These displays are more robust than the previous version. For example, the gold bar now also displays the available capacity for gold in your dungeon, in addition to your current gold reserves. A new mechanic introduced in this patch is mana locking. This means that as you summon additional workers or place more defences, part of your mana pool becomes unusable. The UI represents this by shortening your mana bar and displaying just how much of it is locked by workers or defences. In the bottom left hand corner you will now see a working minimap. This map displays the current terrain as well as positions of units and defences. Naturally it's possible to reposition your camera by clicking on it. Overall, a significant step up from getting lost in the fog of war. To the right of the minimap you'll see the somewhat familiar tab system. It is here that you can view and select the rooms, spells and defences that you have unlocked through the Veins of Evil. Easily one of the most requested features by our community is the unit panel. This panel helps you to track and interact with your units. Using the panel you can pick up your faithful minions from anywhere within your area of influence. You can also right click to zoom to that unit. We set out with the intention to make this panel as robust as possible, ensuring that you always have the information you need right at your fingertips. By clicking the icons alongside the unit display, you can cycle between different information views, from showing happiness levels, current task, combat status, and the levels of various units across your dungeon. Finally, we've integrated a worker display on the left hand side of this tab. It's always visible regardless of the current view filter, and as with other units you're able to pick up and drop workers using the display. This will certainly be a lifesaver when you need to get a worker to a task straight away. As if all that wasn't enough, we've also added a new notification display. This handy, some of this information is unfriendly, but will improve in time and is currently hovering over. In the future we'll also be adding tabs for you to manage your rituals and potions. Although these tabs are not yet available, you can access placeholder UI by clicking the props in the alchemy lab and sanctuary respectively. This will allow you to produce deadly potions and cast devastating rituals. This UI is a complete overhaul of the previous placeholder that has been present in the game since Eurogamer. And while what you see here represents a very first pass, we're extremely proud and excited with the result, and can't wait to hear your feedback. The Veins of Evil have also received a significant revamp. To open them, simply click on the sim point indicator or press the spacebar. The first thing that will jump out at those familiar with the Veins is the sheer amount of new aspects in this release. We've added a total of 21 new aspects, all of which are outlined fully in our patch notes. This more than doubles the amount of unlocks available, and should make for some interesting choices for aspiring underlords. As we previously discussed in War for the Overworld Wednesday 63, we've made some significant changes to how the Veins operate. Firstly, the Vein of Greed has been removed and replaced with a more generic vein. While the original concept of Greed was to have an economically focused late game powerhouse, we found that many of the aspects simply didn't fit into this philosophy, and it ended up being a dumping ground for generic rooms and spells. This new central vein unlocks new tiers of aspects for every 2 sins spent. We believe that this new mechanic will allow for much more versatile gameplay, no longer requiring underlords to invest directly into greed to unlock some of the generally useful rooms or spells, such as the Vault or Create Worker. Wrath and Sloth still work as they did before, i.e. unlocking an aspect on one tier unlocks the next tier. That covers 2 of the biggest changes in this patch. However, that's only a small portion of what has changed in this update. Here's a few of our favourite changes that have made it into this patch. Some members of the community reported that it was difficult to catch units when they were busy moving around, as such units now move 80% slower when you hover your hand over them. Ghost props now appear when building rooms, allowing you to see just how many props will be available in that space. Many new assets have made their way into the game, including rats in the prison, beds for some Underlord units, ceilings in possession mode, and a handful of new sound effects, all of which serve to make the game that much more atmospheric. We thank you for watching the video. The patch should be making its way to everyone very soon, and we're confident that it's been worth the wait. Should you wish to view the unapologetic large set of patch notes, feel free to follow the links in the description. And please take the time to let us know what you think of the latest release and this video by signing up on our forums at subterraneangames.com, leaving a comment, or sending a message to us via Facebook or Twitter.